Hey, welcome back to Jonna Logic. I am Jonna. I appreciate you sticking with me and the channel while I took a brief hiatus over the last few months. I had some family matters that I really needed to tend to, and I just didn't have the time, quite honestly, or the energy on top of my 3 jobs. So the reserve position, my full-time role in sales, and teaching fitness classes, to also be making videos. But I am back, and today we're going to talk about food at BMT and weight loss. So I've had a couple of times that question was asked here on the channel, but that said, I am asked that question all the time when I'm speaking to people live and in person. And because I'm meeting new people all the time, it is a question that comes up often. So we're going to talk about what I ate and how I ate and how that aided in weight loss. Yes, I did lose quite a bit of weight, and I was already pretty lean during boot camp. So the first thing I'm going to share with you is there are 3 things you do not get at BMT. And the first is caffeine. Do yourself a favor and wean yourself off the caffeine prior to going to BMT. I did that, and part of the reason I did that was to be sure I didn't have any withdrawal symptoms when arriving. So that would be the first thing. The second thing you don't get is alcohol. Some of you are under the age of 21, so shouldn't be a problem. I'm not a heavy drinker, but I do like to have wine on a Friday or Saturday night with my husband. But since I wasn't really in a situation where it warranted any drinking, it wasn't any big deal. And the third thing you don't get is sugar. I'm gonna give you a little caveat with that. You can get sugar in the form of things like maple syrup for your pancakes. Pancakes themselves have sugar in them. There are sugary cereals. Cereal wasn't available when I was there. That's a whole different situation because of COVID. But if cereal is available to you, it's got sugar in it. The last place you will get sugar is in soy milk, which I did drink. It's not a whole lot of sugar. And your protein bar. You get a protein bar in the evening, or fruit. I picked the protein bar just because that little bit of chocolate was something to look forward to. But those are the places you will get sugar. That said, I did minimize any kind of sugar intake by avoiding things such as pancakes and maple syrup or waffles or any of those types of foods. What is the food in general like? Well, it's not the greatest. It's not the worst on the planet. I've been at other bases that are way worse, but it is not the greatest. But you're not really there to focus on food. Let's just be honest and real. It is about giving your body sustenance and nutrients. And that's how I looked at it. I wasn't trying to wholly enjoy it. I just wanted to make sure I was getting what my body needed. Because I was so focused on getting what my body needed, I ended up eating pretty low carb, not keto, just low carb. Again, it wasn't something I intentionally focused on. It was just, I was trying to make sure I ate the best for my body to perform. Again, being older, I felt like I needed to be at my peak, and I know eating quite well puts me at my peak. So what I ate daily was, for breakfast, every single day, I had oatmeal. Sometimes it was plain, that's what they made. Sometimes it had sugar in it. I preferred the plain because it didn't have sugar. Either way, I ate whatever it was they were serving as far as oatmeal. So I took a serving of oatmeal. I put 2 of the individual packets of peanut butter in it, raisins, which is natural sugar, so a little different, and typically soy milk. If I just happened to be super hungry that morning, that happened occasionally, I would get a turkey patty, just just plain, just a piece of turkey, breakfast sausage, if you will. And that's what I ate every single day. I didn't have to think about it. Getting in line and having people yell at you the whole time can be stressful, so it wasn't anything I had to think about. I just got in line, ordered the same thing, and moved on. When it came to lunch and dinner, things were a little different, and that's because during COVID, we didn't have access to a salad bar and things that you could pick and choose yourself. So our options were a little more limited than I anticipated going in. So I, again, wanted to make things simple, and I wanted to eat healthily. So I decided to always choose on the leanest protein that was available. Sometimes it was chicken, sometimes it was pork, sometimes it was tofu. And I don't eat fish, but sometimes it was fish, and so I ate it. I did not eat the pasta. I did not eat bread. I typically don't eat dairy anyway, even before going. And so if the food had cheese on it, such as chicken having cheese on it, if chicken was the best lean protein, I just scraped the cheese off of it. Sometimes the food was breaded. I did my best to remove the breading and would eat the protein that way. So I always picked the leanest protein for lunch and dinner. And then I would also have at least 2 vegetables. So sometimes it was peas. Again, not something I ate prior to, and I eat a lot of vegetables, but it was the best choice nutritionally. So that's what I ate. And I typically ate a salad. They had tiny, tiny pre-made salads in this little tiny bowl. So I would eat a pre-made salad and a piece of fruit. So every meal, it was easy for me to get in line and make a decision, not eating carbs and picking the leanest protein available. So it was a split-second decision as people are yelling at you. But that's what I did. And to be honest, I lost about 13 pounds. I didn't even know I had 13 pounds to lose, but I got really, really lean, and that was as a result of being pretty low carb. I did eat the beef or sometimes as I mentioned, the pork, especially if it was salmon. That was one fish I really can't eat, and I just decided to eat the other food. If it was spaghetti and meatball mixed together, I ate the fish. Things of that nature. So I just really tried to make a decision on lean protein, fruits and vegetables, and then that protein bar at night. That was sort of my carb, and the oatmeal in the morning with raisins was my other set of carbs. So that's pretty much what I ate. And you're so busy and you're so active that even people who did not eat quite as low carb as I did still lost weight. Pretty much my entire unit lost weight. And that's because you are exercising daily. You're not eating a ton of food because it's not exactly comfortable being in the defect. I mean, there's yelling going on and you're trying to do everything in a rush. You only have 10 minutes to eat, and so you're not really over consuming food anyway. But if you do want to be at your optimal health, I would suggest eating as clean as possible. And that's what worked for me. I am not a nutritionist. I am not a dietitian. I just know what really basic nutrition says, and I also know what works for my body. Again, I don't eat dairy because I don't really tend to do well with dairy, so it's just something I automatically avoid. So yeah, that's pretty much the extent of it. Don't look for great, awesome, amazing food. That's not what you're there for. It really is for your sustenance. Thanks for sticking with me again, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to the channel for more content. I am back, so there will be more content coming. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email or post a comment. Thanks again for joining me, and hope to see you next time.